Greetings and welcome back to Pillar Loves Games with Warcraft. Ta-da. The board game by Fantasy Flight Games. In this game, you'll play as the Alliance, the Horde, Night Elves, or the Undead, and play either a free-for-all or as teams. The base game for 4 players is supposed to be team versus team. Personally, I like free-for-all type of play, but there's playing with the teams offers more balance of capabilities against each other. So you'll start the game with 3 melee units and 3 workers. These are what the melee units look like. And workers. If you have the expansion, which I always recommend, because this game is this is a game that needs its expansion in the base game so much. Start with a hero, represented by a star. Other units you can build are flying units. There we go. And ranged units. There it goes. There you go. Yep. And then the goal is to secure enough points through cards in your experience deck. If you get them out and play. Simply holding on to your town is worth points. Fully upgrading your units is worth points. And then locations on the board too. So at the start, everyone has their units, 5 gold and 5 wood. Their town display, where they can hire more workers, revive their hero, get more melee units, build new buildings, upgrade units. And then starting with a starting player, we go through the turn sequence. Each part of the turn sequence starts with a starting player, and then it goes around. And then when that's done, it goes to the next one. So movement, melee units can move 1, ranged units can move 1, flying, worker, and hero units can move 2. Only flying units can move into mountains. And then after a given player is done with their move step, if they're occupying a space with enemy units, there'll be a battle before the next person takes their move step. How that'll work is procedure in battle is ranged units attack first. There's no ranged units. Then flying units, and then melee units. Heroes depends on what type they are. Like, for example, the Keeper of the Grove is a ranged unit. What you'll do is roll dice equal to how many units you have and compare it to your value token that's up. So for these, they're currently at level 1, so their strength is only a 2. So you'd have to roll a 2 or less on those dice to inflict hits. And your opponent will do the same. So they would lose 1. Units in the surrounding areas of the battlefield, it's called flanks, can also contribute. When you remove casualties, you can pull from the battlefield or from a flank. But everyone will be done with their move. They'll go on to harvesting. base game harvesting uses a special die, but it's just so random. I almost prefer to use the expansions option of just put like 20 on the starting forest and gold mines, and then there's the random tokens for the center ones. For every worker on a gold mine or forest, they'll get 2. And then once it's depleted, there's no more. You gotta go get more. There's all this out here. Eventually resources will run out, but if people are playing smart, the game should end long before resources completely dry up. Let's see here. And then deploy. If you had any units on your town display to bring in, they'll come in. If the expansions option of spell research, if you're doing that, you'll get the cards. Old method of getting cards was going into a battle or winning a battle got you a card. I prefer spell research because it gives players more control and requires actual investment. Special things with the cards are mana symbols, which are used by your heroes for their abilities. And then there's, let's see, so after deploying, spending. Spend gold and wood in your, in your supply to do one of 3 things. You either get new workers and units, or the spell research, based on your buildings. Construct new buildings and outposts that will come into play during the deploy step. So, like, I need to build, ranged units because ranged helps. It'll cost 2 wood and 2 gold to buy a new building. Plus, I have to have a worker there in the town space. So, spending resources. There it goes. And it'll come in next turn. And finally, there's upgrade your units. So, you see that building, the 1. You need to have that many buildings of that type. And then 2 wood and 2 gold to upgrade that unit. You can upgrade each of the unit types once per round. Can't do it twice for one of them. But once you've chosen your option, it'll go around. Everyone's chosen their option. New player shifts 1 to clockwise. And it goes round and around. Things I haven't covered. Let's see. Creeps. So, in order for your heroes to level up, they need to fight creeps or go kill an enemy hero. So, creeps range from reasonably challenging to very difficult. Special abilities and all that. And the play just keeps going around until someone's in a position to win. Either having the points or eliminating a member of the enemy team. If one team member is lost, then the other team member is lost as well. So you kind of need to both be thinking ahead, planning out how to watch both sides, and build yourself up. So why do I love Warcraft? Part of it is nostalgia. This is the game that got me to start collecting board games in general. I used to have a ton of games as a kid that I would just mess with by myself because I didn't really have anyone to play with. I got an opportunity to start, playing games with, another person when we got into the Big Brother program. So, that's going to be a tangent for another time. Let's focus on the board game. So, this was my gateway, and then why I still stand by this game is it's comparatively simple. There's units are easy to understand in terms of abilities. Just a simple process of move, get stuff, put out the stuff you bought before, buy new stuff. And then heroes add a lot of depth. And that's why I always recommend the expansion. Without the heroes, it just lacks so much. But still, the base game is okay. Now I've gotten into a lot of other advanced games and such, but this is a game I'm always proud to come back to and play with anybody. So, there you have it. Warcraft, the board game, I love it. And I want to play it with somebody in the future. And, oh yes, there's also scenarios. Scenarios with all sorts of assorted tokens. And, extra map tiles as well. And I want to do more stuff with the scenarios and all that. I also want to do something with the... So I previously ordered another used copy of Warcraft that was like missing map tiles, cards. It was... I got a refund, thankfully, but they never asked me to send it back, so I've just got it sitting in a space underneath one of my tables, and it's like, okay, what can I do with the extra unit pieces, resources? I want to do something creative with it. You know, the piece sets for Warcraft, there's only 10 infantry, or 10 melee units, 7 ranged, 4 flying, and 1 hero. I want to do something with the extras. I want to set it up so that you make use of like 2-piece sets and make for like a super game of Warcraft. I'm gonna figure that out soon. But yeah, Warcraft, love it. If you can find a copy that's complete, especially with the expansion, try it out. It's worth giving a chance because I think it's fun. Anyway, then Pillar Nexus. This is another great game that I love. Thank you for watching the video. See you next time.